Let's talk about the business. I'm a coach, so I like to break things down to where it's real simple. Okay, I like taking complicated things and making them simple. Because there's a lot of confusion in running a small business. You're doing a bunch of things that don't matter. You're running around all day long doing all these things when you need to get clear on what it is you need to be doing. The purpose of the business is to do one thing: generate customers. Peter Drucker said that. Every activity you participate during the day that's got nothing to do with producing customers, in my opinion, is a low-value activity. Man, it is so easy. It is so easy to sit around and talk to your coworkers. It is so easy to play on Instagram. It is so easy to go to the bathroom for 17 minutes. It's so easy to take a long lunch. It's so easy to talk to your spouse. It's so easy. None of these things produce a customer. Everybody see that? The purpose of the business is very simple. What can I do right now to produce money? Everybody with me? What can I do right now to produce money? And when I coach a company, almost every company I coach, Gary, I see the same thing. They're wasting 3 to 4 hours a day on low-value activity. If I just watch them, these two talk about what happened this weekend, who's going to win the football game, are the Titans going to be any good or not any good, what happened last week, what's going to happen this weekend, then they go to the bathroom, then they talk to somebody, then they call their kid, then they do this. None of those things produce money. And if you just follow people around all day long, you would see how much time they really waste in low-value activity. This is one of the confusions. Then they tell me, I got a time management problem. Can't get it all in, coach. Can't get all this stuff I got in every day. Purpose of the business is to create a customer. I have caught myself selling a coaching program when I really ought to be solving a problem. Money changes hands when problems are solved. Okay? So when you're selling something, you really need to locate a problem. And you need to help a person solve that problem. So when I'm selling a person, I ask a simple question. Brian, what do you want to do? Brian says, well, I want to take my business from here to there. Okay, great. Here's what I recommend that you do. You need to come to this. You need to come to this. You need to be involved in this. You need to show this. You need to do these things. And then I have all these products for Brian. And I ask him a question. How do you learn best? Man, I really love him in person. Well, what you really need to do is come to one of my boot camps where you can spend 2 days with me breaking this concept down. I locate a problem, and then I offer a solution. What if you only have one solution? What if you only got one product? And I don't want that product. Now we don't have anything to sell you, right or wrong? One of my favorite shows out there right now is called Undercover Billionaire. And Undercover Billionaire is a show on Discovery where they take a billionaire and they drop him off in a city, and all he has is $100. They take away his cell phone, so he has a cell phone with no contacts in it. He cannot tell people who he is. He cannot tell people he's a billionaire. And he has 90 days to produce a business that's worth $1 million. Isn't that a cool concept? We're going to drop you off somewhere where you know nobody. You can't tell people who you are. You can't use any of your leverage or influence. Right? You got to start a business from nothing, and at the end of 90 days, it's got to be worth $1 million. Or you got to give that city $1 million of your own money. It's a great concept. And I was thinking, Dre, if they dropped me off in some obscure city and I knew no one, what would I do? What would I do? Would I go to someone who's already making money and help them make more money? Is that breaking the rules? Because they may say, no, you got to start something from scratch and produce something that's worth $1 million in 90 days. I mean, that is a real mental challenge to think about. What would you do if you had to start with $100 and you knew nobody and you couldn't call anybody you knew and you literally had to just go somewhere and do this? Well, here's the deal. First thing you got to figure out is what kind of problem can I solve? And who would pay me to solve it? See, one of the best questions I like asking people is, what's the biggest check you've ever cashed? And where did that check come from? And where did it originate? And you backtrack the genealogy of that check. And then once you figure out where it came from, Why haven't you gone back there and got another one? Okay? Last year, my biggest check came from an insurance company. And an insurance company paid me the most money to be their coach. Okay? Now, if you were coaching me, you'd probably say, who else owns insurance companies that are independently owned, not corporate, that you can go to, that you can be their coach to help them make a couple million more dollars so they can give you a piece of that money? Right or wrong? That's how you need to be thinking. What's the biggest check you ever cashed? Where'd it come from? Where did you meet the people? How do you go back and get another one? See, we spend all of our time all day long chasing little blue gills. Little blue gills. Oh, let's just try to make a deal. Let's just try to make $1. Let's just try to do this. We don't ever step back and go, no. That group has a major problem, and they will pay me a lot of money to solve that problem. That's how we need to be thinking. That's why you hear me say there's a difference between bluegills and blue marlins. You can fish for bluegills in Percy Priest Lake, or you can fish for blue marlins in the Gulf of Mexico. Same fishing. Okay? Now, what's interesting is when I went deep sea fishing, I only been one time, is they take you out there, they take you out first to catch the little fish, and they use the little fish as the bait. And then they take you directly to where all the fish are. And it takes like 4 hours to get out there in the middle of the ocean. And the dude stops it, and he's like, they're all right there. And this is the extent of my fishing. Justin, here's what I did. I put it in there, boom. As soon as I put it in there, almost pulled me out of the boat. I caught the biggest fish all day. And I could run around and say, man, I was a great fisherman. But the truth is, he took me right to where the big fish were. Does that make sense? Makes you feel good, but you really didn't have to work that hard to find them. Well, your business is the same way. Who are the big fish? And how do I get in front of them? And how do we close more deals? How do we solve a problem for them? Okay? All of our activity every day should be around one thing, creating new customers. So, here's the confusion. The definition of confusion is randomness in motion. When a business goes out of business, why do they go out of business? Say again? Capital. Why do they not have capital? Because they don't have enough customers. See, Victoria's Secret shut down 250 stores. Pier 1, Ty Lopez bought Pier 1 and Dress Barn and Linens and Things. He paid $31 million to buy Pier 1. And he said, I don't want the stores. What I want are 31 million email addresses, 31 million phone numbers. I don't even want the retail store. I want to market to those 31 million people. If you had 31 million email addresses in your database, you think you can make more than $31 million? Yes or no? Would you rather have $1 billion or 1 billion friends? Because if you had 1 billion friends, you should be able to make more than $1 billion, right or wrong? All the money you're looking for, by the way, anybody walk in here tonight? Everybody drive in some type of car? You still in the car business, Mike? I asked my employees once, I said, did y'all walk into work this morning? I said, no, we drove, Coach. I said, everybody's got shoes on? Yep. Okay. Yeah. Everybody wore clothes to work today? Yep. That's good. I said, who paid for all those things? Just out of curiosity, who paid for the car you drove in here? Who paid for the house you live in? Who paid for the clothes you got on your back? You know who paid for that? Customers. What about every vacation you ever been on? Right? Other people paid for that, yes or no? You didn't pay for it. Other people paid for it. So if you want nicer things, bigger car, nicer house, you got to go get more people to pay for those things. Everybody see that? All the money in your pocket started in somebody else's pocket. And they exchanged their money for something that you brought to the equation. That's an exchange. This is just a piece of paper, by the way. It's just energy circulation. The people who produce the most energy make the most money. Would you agree? People who solve the biggest problems make the most money. Okay? This is just a piece of paper. Can be reproduced. Right? You look at money and you're like, man, how do people make a lot of money? Well, they produce big things. They take big gambles. They take big risks.